Morning Zompoc!
Good morning, Zompoc. Welcome to our podcast. I'm Bex. That was Marc.
Yes, welcome to our podcast. Here we are recording each and every episode whilst barricaded inside our homes, hiding from the zombies outside.
Yep, the zombie apocalypse. That was very fruity, that. That's a bit fruity for the podcast.
I'm feeling fruity. I'm excited for today. I'm feeling fruitier than usual.
Okay. Well, the zombie apocalypse hit Britain a few months ago. Can't remember how many months. It was 3, maybe 4. I'm in Manchester. Marc's in London. We're currently stuck in our homes with little power or supplies and using the faintest little Wi-Fi signal to upload this podcast to you.
Yes, and now we have a sociopathic ex-Virgin Media employee who's been keeping our internet on, but we've not heard from him for a good few weeks. I'm getting worried about Rob. Do you think he's okay?
We've not heard from him for ages.
No, he's just going to sneak into my house. It's going to happen and I'm scared. But no, it's all good. I like Rob. Wherever you are, Rob, we salute you.
We salute you, and hopefully we can upload this podcast when we're done.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so emails.
You got one email.
Okay, let me
from
find...
Scarlet Bush again.
Okay, right. Hold on, let me find it. Okay, ready for emails? We ready for emails? Let's do emails.
Yeah, ready for emails. Let's do emails.
Hi,
wineandgiggles@gmail.com.
Wine and Giggles. I can't even do it. I can't speak today. I don't know what to do. Hi, Bex and Marc. Got your message. And I do have a country name for you, and I hope you will be pleased. Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, I get it. It's because it's got Z's in it, and we're Moors. And it's nicely abbreviated to Z and G. Z and G. That's true. It sounds good.
Z&G.
Perfect for chanting, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. Z and G.
Z&G. Z&G.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks, Scarlett. Obviously, you, as usual, you are the perfect person for naming shit. We've got a PS on the end. PS, I don't know if you are aware, but prior to the Zompoc, I was a professional sex worker. Wow. Weren't we all? No, just you.
Weren't we all? Just me.
And I was wondering if maybe in some future episodes I might contribute some tips about sexual safety during the zombie apocalypse. I reckon it being the end of the world and all that, many of your listeners are tempted to be careless when it comes to sex, and that saddens me greatly. Wow.
Oh, I'd love Scarlet Bush to come and do some sexual safety tips.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think we can arrange that. Do you think we can get Scarlet Bush on to do sexual safety? I mean, if we could literally interview her as a guest and just ask her quick questions about sex in the apocalypse. I think we should do that. Scarlet, if you're out there and you're listening, please get yourself to the internet. I don't know where you're going to find an internet connection in wherever you are, Tallahassee or somewhere. Just find an internet connection, log in, get in touch, and we want to talk about sex.
And can I just say, Scarlet Bush is the only person who we've not ripped the piss out of via email.
That is true. We really should do that, but we won't because we want to be
respect her. No, we respect the Bush too much.
We do respect the Bush, me especially. Okay, well that's all the emails we got for this week. We're keeping the email short because we've got one email, but there's lots more to get through this week. So yeah, emails are all done for this week.
Yes, we have a pretty exciting episode. So I think we're going to keep the what we've been doing things short and sweet. I've not really been up to much. I mean, I've been playing around with different recipe ideas from the supplies I got. But I'm no Jamie Oliver. I don't pretend to be a good cook. I'm more of a Heston Blumenthal if he didn't have any taste buds or sense of smell. You know, he mixes up all that random shit and it tastes nice. I just mix random stuff up and it tastes absolutely crap.
Yeah, I reckon he's doing really well right now, don't you, Heston Blumenthal? If he's alive...
Yeah, I reckon he can make anything out of anything, can't he?
Yeah, he's holed up in a tyre warehouse and he's making tyre soufflés using just worn-out tyres, an air pressure gauge and some gravel, and he's making beautiful soufflés for everybody.
Yeah, I could eat a soufflé right now.
I could eat a soufflé.
On the plus side, my potatoes are starting to sprout.
Yes, good. What do they look like? What do sprouting potatoes look like?
But they're just a teeny tiny little green thing that's shooting out. I mean, I could just be looking so hard that I've ruptured an eye vein, but...
An eye vein?
An eye vein. I'm pretty sure I can see a little teeny tiny little green thing sprouting out of them, so I'm happy.
Oh, that's brilliant. I can't wait to see them.
I'm hoping I'm going to have a big potato.
I'm hoping you're going to have a very large potato and then you're going to cook it and then put butter in it and cheese.
Oh,
that would be nice.
Don't. I'm hungry.
Right. Okay. So this week...
How's your week been? Yes.
It's been quiet again. The apocalypse has hit once more. So I haven't had any visitors. No, Don hasn't been around. Tony hasn't been around. Drago, Igor, Grigor, whatever the fuck his name is, the big, tall Russian fellow. I don't ask their names. I just call them Drago and Igor. Or Grigor. I can't remember what I call him, but it doesn't matter.
Wasn't it Dimitri and Drago? I think we called them the other week.
In my mind, I call them all sorts of names because I don't actually talk to them. I just
cunt face.
Yeah, I don't say that. I'm scared they might be able to read minds. So my week has been basically I've had internet. I've had pretty good internet this week, which is unusual.
Awesome.
So normally it drops out. So I've been trying to use the internet.
Must be close.
Rob is close. I can sense the disturbance in the internet. So it's been working. So that's been nice. I've been trying to get stuff to work. So the internet, as you know, is pretty much down. There's not a lot going on. There's a little bit happening on Facebook, but very few people are actually alive, so there's very few people using it. And podcasts are still around because we're being listening to them. But obviously, there aren't any new ones since the start of the zombie apocalypse. However, I think I found one. I found one that's based in the US. It's very much like ours, as in there's people recording their experiences throughout the zombie apocalypse. But it's a little bit different. It's a little bit confusing. So I'm not going to go into the details right now, but maybe in a future episode we can talk about it a little bit more, see what they've been up to, compare it to what we've been up to, and see if we can, work out exactly what's going on all over the world. So that will be coming up soon in a future episode, hopefully. So that's pretty much what I've been doing this week.
Well, what's it called so people can catch up before our future episode?
It's called Is Anyone There? Anyone There?
Oh,
Is anyone there? Yes, we're here. So if you look up Is Anyone There on your podcasting app, whichever podcasting app you use, have a look. There's quite a lot of episodes. Have a listen and compare it to GMZ. Obviously, don't compare it too well because theirs might be better than ours.
It's probably much better than ours.
Let's be honest. Ours is a lot like theirs, but shitter. So that's fine.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's all I've been doing this week. And that's pretty much it. Cool. So we've got an interview now, haven't we?
Oh, we have. I'm so excited.
We've got a special guest. Yay! So not that our other guests aren't special. We love all our other guests. But this week, last week, we had a situation where Joe was on, who's our regular guest. Mm-hmm. And Joe said she had seen...
And in no way old.
In no way old. She had seen one of her friends, one of her acquaintances, who was a zombie writer, who had been turned into a zombie. And then we all made jokes about how people who are zombie writers or are prepared for the zombie apocalypse are in fact now zombies, and that's funny. Ha ha ha. Because we are comedians. Ha ha. And then I had other zombie writers get in touch with me via email and say, I'm not dead, I'm still alive. So that's nice. So what we're going to do is over the next few weeks, we're going to try and set you all up, all these zombie writers, get them on the show to talk about the zombie apocalypse so we can figure out what the fuck is going on. So our first guest this week will announce in a moment.
So we're really excited about our guest this week. It's not every day you get to talk to an actual published writer, and especially one that's not already zombie fodder or a zombie or just a pile of goo on the floor.
Yes, joining us today is the author of the 5-star Amazon rated book series Hellspawn. It's Ricky Fleet. Welcome, Ricky.
Hello, Marc and Bex. How are you?
Hello, good, thanks.
Hiya, Ricky. It's good to have you on the show here, and you're alive and not zombie fodder at all, which is amazing.
Yay!
Oh, thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all, mate. It's always lovely to have an actual bona fide proper guest here on our show. So in honour of obviously having a bona fide proper guest on our show, which is, a wonder for our little podcast, we're going to do proper grown-up questions. So before we sort of get into the silly stuff and be a bit stupid, we're going to ask you some actual questions about your writing. So because we're interested, first and foremost, Ricky, before we obviously. The Zompoc hit Britain and obviously everybody died. Bex and I were interested in zombie fiction and just, that's how we met and we, that's how this whole thing started. So we have some questions for you. So shoot, Bex.
What influenced your love of zombie fiction, Ricky?
It goes back quite some years to when I was sort of about 10, 11 years old. I forget exactly what it is, but I'll never forget the evening in question. I was staying up a bit later than I should have been. I was up in my bedroom. Mum and Dad didn't know that I had the television on. And I've changed channels, and I caught the last half hour, 3/4 of an hour of a black and white film that I didn't quite know what it was at the time. It transpires that was the original Night of the Living Dead by George Romero.
Good one.
After watching that, I absolutely fell in love with it. The problem is, being of that age, the options of getting zombie related material is somewhat limited. If you sort of cast your minds back, I don't think either of you are old enough. You sound quite young.
Oh, I'm old enough. I'm old enough.
I was just being polite.
Thank
you. In our old shop, it was called the One Stop, and it was since been bought out by Tesco, who have now turned them into Tesco Extras. And they used to have the videos on display much the same way as all the reading material, magazines and such. The top shelf magazines didn't interest me at the time, but with age, obviously, that's changed. But the thing that did interest me was the top shelf horrors. Now, I wasn't tall enough to reach them, and I always remember every time we used to walk in there, I'd sort of walk around and I'd have a little look, and there were titles, what were there? Neon Maniacs, The Video Dead, Reanimator, loads and loads of these extremely alluring front covers with ratings of 18. Now, obviously, that posed the problem of being 11 years old. I didn't have access to fake ID at the time. It then turned into... I know, it was a tough time at the time. It then turned into a game of begging mother to hire the later books, obviously Dawn being the first one, and then Day of the Dead after that. It took quite some time, but eventually I wore my mum down, and she hired them both for me. I think it took about a year, bless her. So she really hung out on that one. But yeah,
You're
I
persistent.
hired Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, I was persistent back then. I wanted them, and I was going to get them. But no, I hired. My mother hired Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, and I watched them concurrently. And Dawn of the Dead was just phenomenal. Obviously, Night of the Dead, you're sort of trapped with a group of people in a house. But Dawn of the Dead, it really does bring home the complete collapse of society, and that scared the shit out of me. It really did. I don't know what it is about that sort of genre, but it really did. And then obviously Day of the Dead, the effects were, they stepped the effects up, and it was absolutely phenomenal with the headshots and Army Captain Rhodes sort of being pulled apart, and Bub and all the other bits. And from that trilogy, Mr. Romero, I just absolutely adore it. You've got Lucio Fulci. I'm sorry if I've butchered his name there because he's an Italian fella, but he done Zombie Featers and some other amazing films, and it just spoke to me on a primal level. No other genre has ever captured me like that. Makes sense.
That's amazing. I mean, it's lovely to hear about your influences and where they come from, and even sort of to hear a little bit of how that's influenced the writing that you do today. Because I recognise some of what you said, and obviously in your books. So, I mean, apart from those influences that you've just mentioned there, are there other ideas that you've picked up either from movies or from books that you've actually used in the writing that you do? Have you not not stolen or copyrighted, plagiarized ideas, but are they concepts that you've taken as a young child and then used them in your writing?
I think everyone draws ideas, don't they? It's just like, have you drawn any ideas from books that you've read?
Yeah, without sort of getting myself in trouble with the copyright infringement and the subsequent lawsuits.
But there's only so much you can do with the zombie genre. It's more how you write it, isn't it? I mean, there's zombies, there's an apocalypse, there's people surviving. It's kind of the same concept, but it's how you write it that makes the book amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
does that make sense?
I'll be brutally honest. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even know that an indie author network kind of existed before I started writing my own book. I've read sort of all of King, all of Kuntz, Lehman, Hudson, Herbert, Laws, Lumley. I've read all sort of novels from the shelves, but I was ignorant to the fact that there were dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of thousands of decent authors out there sort of doing the same work. Yeah. My problem was I've never read a zombie book up until writing Hellspawn.
Right.
Oh, really?
In fact, I didn't really know that. No, I didn't even know they existed.
Right.
Obviously, I was aware of the cartoons of The Walking Dead. Not cartoons, sorry, the comic strips of The Walking Dead. And I used to enjoy all that sort of stuff. But I never knew there were actual novels out there because, buying them from sort of Tesco's and W.H. Smith's, I always used to buy from the shelf. As soon as I found out, I was absolutely dreading writing my story and finding my story somewhere else.
Yeah.
So up until I actually finished, I didn't even a zombie. Then I am in the process of catching up hundreds and hundreds of books, which will take me forever. Mike Evans, Armin Rossabilia, Mark Tufo, Sean Chesser, Eric Shellman, Ian Smith, Richard Hayward. So many guys out there that have got a long-standing series going. The problem being is, like Beck said, it's zombies and us hiding from them.
I've read a lot of zombie books over the years, probably since I was maybe 12, 13, so you're talking over 15 years now. And the concept you have in your book, I've not read it in another book before.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's high praise.
Unless I've missed it, because I've not read a certain book. But the book on the books that I've read, I've read a lot of zombie novels.
Coding in there.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you've done?
Put subliminal coding in there. Yeah, basically by about page 3, you're hypnotised, and you end up getting to the end of the book and saying it's good, which is worth paying out for that.
Page 1, I was gripped. Page 1, I was gripped.
We talk about zombie fiction as like it's a separate genre. I come from sort of the fantasy genre. I mean, that's where I was brought up with The Hobbit, and I grew from there. And I see zombie apocalypse fiction as fantasy, sci-fi, and all part of the same group. It's about using your imagination for an end of the world scenario, which most fantasy and most sci-fi is the same. Thing. And it opens up a whole world. I mean, once you say society has fallen, there is no more society, all of a sudden you have a whole world to build. You start over, don't you? You're world building in the same way that Robin Hobb or Patrick Rothfuss and all these other guys, they build a world. That's pretty much all you guys are doing, but you're sort of starting closer from home, that we recognise the world before you start building it.
Yeah, I mean, the zombies, once the sort of the fear and the horror wears off of the zombies, which undoubtedly human beings can't go every single day absolutely terrified, they'd end up breaking down. So at some point, same as The Walking Dead, it moves past the initial horror of the dead rising to the point where we've got to make the characters and the story that they're trying to build interesting enough. Now, I've kind of reached that point in my book. Everything bad that has happened, is done now.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead.
Now they've got to rebuild.
Favourite zombie novel? If I'm honest, the one that I've read several times is Bob the Zombie series by Jamie Jonesy.
Great series.
It's just such a sort of nice little bit of comic relief.
Love it.
I've not read that one yet, but it is on my list.
Oh, honestly, they're fantastic, absolutely fantastic. If you want a real smile on your face, for a good few hours after. It's a grin a minute. It really is a really enjoyable series.
Well, I'll tell you a secret, Rick.
Yeah.
Outside my house, we used to have a zombie who occasionally, I would say, talked like a northern person. Occasionally. Bex never believed me. But his name was Bob. Bob the Zombie.
That's fantastic.
That was his name.
You've got your own Bob the Zombie.
Yeah, well, I did. He's moved on now.
His name wasn't Bob. He didn't talk. He was just delusional.
So you say.
If we're talking Acme novels, sorry, obviously Bob the Zombie is a comic relief type side of one. I would probably say, being that it's one of the earliest guys to help me out in my writing, he was absolutely fantastic, giving me tips and advice on what to do, what not to do. It would be Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse by Sean Chesser.
Yeah.
Very, very family oriented. You know, the guy, you can sort of, obviously he's well trained, but you know, he fights for his family, and that is basically what I try to do in my books. There's nothing more important than keeping your family safe.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
That's my personal opinion. Yeah, so if I had to pick horror,
Yeah.
it would be Sean Chesser's.
Okay, so, brilliant, fantastic. Definitely, anybody who's obviously still alive out there in the GMZ world, go check out those books. So we thought we'd start something amongst our writer guests, because we've got more writer guests coming, believe it or not, and we are hopefully going to be interviewing more surviving authors over the next few months, and we want to pit them against each other to see who will be crowned King of Zombie Fiction. It could be you, Ricky, but you're the first one, so you'll know you're going to be King of Zombie Fiction for at least 1 week.
Just
I'm going to get the most out of that title for as long as I can.
Yeah, I know. We're going to get you a little crown made. King of Zombie Fiction.
Yeah, so I thought basically what we're going to do is we're going to ask you really quick fire questions about zombies. They're going to be a bit silly and you're going to be making the answers up on the spot, but all you've got to do is answer as many questions as you can in 1 minute. We'll add your name to the leaderboard, and every time another author comes on, their name will be added to the leaderboard, so hopefully you can stay on the top of the leaderboard for a little bit.
I warn you, my brain doesn't work that quickly, so there might be an awkward pause between answers.
Not a
It's
problem.
okay, you've got 1 minute.
Okay, every time I consider that you've answered, I'm going to make a... What noise should I make? Hang on. I've got a burping noise, listen. How's that? No?
Yeah, no, I quite like
Fantastic.
the first.
You like the burping noise? Okay, right. Right, go, Bex, go.
Right, Ricky, you ready? Your time starts.
But yes,
No, but yes, your time starts now. Can zombies procreate?
no.
Do zombies have the ability to use weapons?
Depends on if they are from a certain series. In my world, no.
Can a zombie run?
No, not a real zombie. Fake zombies can, but they're not my ones.
Do zombies get constipated due to lack of fibre?
I would say probably yes. A higher protein diet isn't brilliant for anyone.
Can a zombie be vegetarian?
After they've eaten us all, I don't think they've got a great deal of choice.
Do zombies like pets?
Only until they've eaten them, and then they move on to another pet. They're very fickle.
Do zombies have regional accents?
I would assume the Groans do have a Scottish lilt from up north and a slight Mockney accent like mine further south.
Why did the zombie cross the road?
To try and eat something that was running away from him on the other side of the road.
Can you get a zombie drunk?
I wouldn't get close enough to try, except
Do
if it was Bob
zombie-
the Zombie.
We're done. That's it, we're up.
Hey,
Time's up.
how many was that?
That
Oh,
was 12. We got 12
Was that
questions.
12, really?
Pressure
Wow.
was phenomenal. Oh, my life.
Oh, you did really well.
Felt like I was on
You did really well. That
I
was
thought you did
amazing.
fantastically well. I was really, really impressed with that, Ricky. I think people are going to struggle to keep up with that because I
Yeah,
thought you
12's a
thought
good score.
12's a really good score. Okay, right. I have a surprise for both of you.
Yeah, see, I've known about the surprise, but I don't know what the surprise is,
No,
so
I
I'm
haven't
like
I haven't
chomping at the bit.
So okay, so I have been planning a surprise. So every time we have a zombie author or any guest from now on, we're going to play a silly game, okay? So I've been preparing for this silly game all week. All right? That's why when I was telling you about my week earlier, Bex, it was very short and sweet. Because what I've actually been doing, I've been going out into London and I've been looking for celebrity zombies and chopping off their feet, okay? And there's a reason I've been doing that. We're playing a game this week called Ricky Fleet, Smelly Feet, right? And what you have to do, I'm going to describe the smell of a zombie's foot, and you need to guess which celebrity foot I'm holding and smelling. Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you what I
think
smell.
I understand that.
I'm going to tell you what I smell in my zombie foot, and you need to, and you're both playing. It's a competition. It's the best of 5, so we have 5 zombie feet. I only found 5 celebrity zombies, so I only have 5 feet. Okay, so clue 1 to the first zombie foot is it smells a bit like ice, like an iceberg. Okay, that's clue 1.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. Ricky wins first one. Boom.
Oh.
Bex, what's the matter with you?
Well, no, I was trying to think of Kate Winslet's name and I couldn't remember her name.
No, Ricky straight in there. Boom.
Snooze, you lose.
Right, let's go. So for the second zombie foot, are you ready for this, guys?
Uh-huh.
I have soap. Okay, it smells a bit like soap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It smells a bit like zombies. That's a weird one.
It's a zombie foot, of course it's going
I
to smell like zombies.
know, and it smells like soap as well.
Nothing.
It smells like oceans. So the soap's got writing on it, and there's a zombies, and it's ocean, smells a bit like oceans, and it smells a bit like ancient Greece. No, ancient Greece. More specifically, it smells like Troy, the city of Troy.
Brad Pitt.
Helen of Troy?
Brad Pitt. Ricky Fleet, got in there with Brad Pitt. Well, 2 to... Right, 1 more for you, Ricky, and you win outright. It's best of 5. So,
I've never seen that film.
I named like 3 films.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11, World War Z, and the soap one was Fight Club. That was the first one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good one.
next one. So this one... So this foot smells a bit like Hollywood hookers. So hookers from Hollywood. No?
I don't like this game.
You grub?
No, nearly. This one smells a bit like mirrors. 2 mirrors to be exact.
2 mirrors. 2 mirrors.
It also smells
Mirror?
like oceans. The same oceans as previously.
Who's Clooney?
No. Hollywood hookers, 2 mirrors.
Oh, fuck, what's his name?
It's
him.
It's a female foot. It's a female foot.
Oh, it's a female foot. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
No. It smells like Notting Hill.
Oh, Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts! That's 1 for Bex!
Oh.
She's back in the game!
I was robbed. robbed.
Okay, right. Number four. So, clue number 1. Alright, I'll give you a clue. It is a female foot. It's a small female foot. Okay. Not tiny, just a normal size female foot. Clue number 1 is a typewriter.
Bridget Jones?
No.
Renée Zellweger.
No. Clue number 2 is a teapot. A typewriter and a teapot.
Agatha Christie?
Nearly. You're on the right lines.
Oh, is it an author?
No.
Miss Sparkle.
No. So there's a typewriter, teapot. There's broomsticks. Smells a bit like broomsticks.
Angela Lansbury.
Yes! Ricky wins. Ricky wins the game of Ricky Fleet, Smelly Feet. Angela Lansbury. You're too young to remember Angela Lansbury. You've got no clue. It wasn't very fair on Bex because the questions were kind of, me and Ricky would get them and you wouldn't. So, but it's his game. It's his game. It's Ricky Fleet Smelly Feet.
Well done.
Well done. I would like to say a huge thank you to Ricky for coming on and being our guest today. I really appreciate it.
It's been brilliant.
Thank you, Ricky. Hopefully we can have you on again soon. If you ever have a book that you want to tell everybody about, then obviously come on and tell everybody about it.
Yeah, that would be absolutely fine. I'll say I'm not normally one to sort of spam my wares. I find some authors do that, and I don't really like the whole approach. But I really do appreciate that, Marc and Bex.
I think you did it in a fantastic way. I mean, some people can go onto a podcast and try to sell their book. You come on and talk about zombie feet, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you very much, Ricky. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me.
Ricky.
Thank you, Ricky. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bex, it's been a really good show this week. I've actually enjoyed it. It's been fantastic. And not that I don't normally enjoy it, but I think...
said you don't normally enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I normally do enjoy it. It's normally the highlight of my week. I get to talk to other human beings who are not my family and not dead. So I love it every week. But this week's been fantastic because I've got to talk to other people on the internet this week. I've got to talk to Ricky. Get to talk about zombie books. We get to play Ricky Fleet Smelly Feet. I've had a wonderful time this week. How about you?
Yeah, I really hope there's some more zombie authors alive, good ones anyway. We don't want the crap ones.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I've been, spreading the word across the internet. Why I've had decent internet this week. Thank you, Rob. I've been spreading the word across the internet, and obviously, we have more authors coming. We're going to have some from all over the world. Different authors going to come on. They're going to talk about zombie fiction. They're going to see if they can knock Ricky off the leaderboard of the King of Zombie Fiction leaderboard, which I'm sure they're not going to be able to because he's too good. But they're going to see if they can knock him off, and then we're going to play some silly games like Ricky Feet Smelly Feet. I think we should play Ricky Feet Smelly Feet again.
I loved Ricky Fleet Smelly Feet.
I think we should do it a lot. I'm not sure he's going to thank us for saying Ricky Feet Smelly Feet like a million times in one podcast, but if we keep saying it, maybe maybe we'll thank us eventually. It'll catch on, everybody will say it, it'll become a meme and everybody will say it. That'd be cool. Ricky Feet Smelly Feet.
I love a meme.
You got to love a meme. If anybody can make a meme now with Ricky and his book and a smelly foot and call it Ricky Feet Smelly Feet, put it on the Facebook page, that'd be fantastic. I'm trusting in you, Scarlet Bush, to get that done. I think that's pretty much it this week.
Definitely.
Have you anything to say to everybody, Bex? Have you anything to say to our listenership of thousands of people all over the world?
We've got thousands of listeners.
No, but if we did, have you anything to say to them?
Fuck off.
So rude.
You sound surprised.
Well, until next week, remember to stay safe.
And remember to kick ass.
Bye-bye.
Bye.